The first time she turned away from me in bed, it felt like nothing. Just a tired night. But the third, the fifth, the 10th time, when her body stiffened at my touch, when her excuses grew rehearsed, I realized something was breaking between us. At first, I convinced myself it was stress, hormones, work. She had her reasons, I told myself. But beneath that surface calm, a question echoed like a siren in my skull. Why does my wife no longer want me? I remember one night vividly. The rain tapped against our window, and the dim glow of the bedside lamp painted her face in soft shadows. I reached for her, desperate for warmth, for connection, but she gently pushed my hand away. Not tonight, she whispered, rolling onto her side. Not tonight, had become her anthem. The silence that followed was heavier than thunder. My chest felt hollow, my mind restless. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, listening to her steady breathing, wondering how two people could share the same bed, yet exist in different worlds. The red flags were there. Subtle, but sharp if I had let myself see them. She started working late more often, her phone glued to her hand, the glow of messages lighting her face while she smiled at a screen that wasn't mine. One evening, I caught a glimpse, a man's name flashing before she quickly tilted the phone away. Who's that? I asked casually, trying not to sound like the jealous husband I was becoming. Just a friend from work, she said, her voice too light, too quick. You wouldn't know him. I nodded, forcing myself to believe her, because believing otherwise meant acknowledging the darkness creeping between us. But it wasn't just her distance that cut me, it was her control. She began to ration affection like currency. If I disagreed with her, she withdrew. If I questioned her late nights, she rolled her eyes and shut me out. Our marriage became a negotiation where intimacy was her weapon, and I was left starving for scraps. One night, I snapped. Why are you doing this to me? I asked, my voice low, shaking. Doing what? She replied, feigning innocence, but her smirk betrayed her. You're punishing me. Withholding yourself to get what you want. She laughed, a sharp, cold laugh that sliced through me. Maybe if you were the kind of man I needed, I wouldn't have to. Her words hit like a blade. In that moment, something inside me cracked. The betrayal didn't reveal itself all at once. It came in fragments, whispers, shadows. A late-night call she took in the kitchen, speaking too softly. A sudden new wardrobe, tight dresses she never wore for me. The scent of cologne on her scarf that wasn't mine. I pieced them together slowly, painfully, like assembling a puzzle I wished I could throw away. And then came the final piece. Her phone buzzed on the counter while she showered. For weeks I had resisted the urge. That night, my hands betrayed me. I opened the message. Last night was perfect. Can't stop thinking about you. The world tilted. My breath caught in my throat. My fingers trembled as I scrolled. Each message another dagger. Plans, confessions, intimacy that had been denied to me but freely given to another. When she emerged from the bathroom, towel wrapped around her, humming, I looked at her with eyes that no longer saw my wife but a stranger draped in familiar skin. Who is he? I asked. Her humming stopped. She froze. What? You know what I mean. Don't lie. I read the messages. Her face drained of color, then hardened into defiance. If you had been enough, I wouldn't have needed him. The words crushed me, but also lit a fire in my chest. For months, I had been at her mercy, begging for love, for attention. She thought she held all the power. But she had underestimated the strength of a man who has nothing left to lose. I didn't yell. I didn't throw things. Instead, I smiled, a cold, deliberate smile that unnerved her. You've denied me your body, I said slowly. But I control the money, the house, the time I give you. And starting today, you get none of it. She blinked, confusion flickering into panic. What do you mean? I mean you can't weaponize yourself against me anymore. I'm done feeding your game. You wanted control? You just lost it. The days that followed were a reversal. I stopped asking where she was going. I stopped waiting up. I stopped financing her shopping sprees, her nights out, her little luxuries. The credit cards were canceled. My attention was gone. My silence was louder than any argument we had ever had. She raged at first. Shouted. Cried. Accused me of being cruel. You can't just shut me out, she screamed one night. Funny, I said calmly. That's exactly what you did to me. Her tears didn't move me. Not anymore. Because behind those tears was a woman who had laughed at my pain, who had fed another man while starving me. But here's the truth. It wasn't revenge that kept me steady. It was clarity. I realized I had been clinging to a ghost of the woman I thought I married. Love had blinded me, made me ignore the red flags, accept the excuses, swallow the humiliation. I had lived in denial because facing the truth meant destroying the life I thought I had. Now the destruction had already happened. She had lit the match. I was just walking out of the fire. The last time we spoke about it, she sat at the kitchen table, eyes swollen, her voice small. I never thought you'd stop caring, she whispered. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw not the woman I once loved but the architect of my heartbreak. I didn't stop caring, I said quietly. You did. I just stopped pretending. That night, I slept peacefully for the first time in months. Alone but free. And in the silence of that empty bed, I realized something chilling, something liberating. Sometimes betrayal doesn't destroy you. It shows you the strength you never knew you had. And once you take back control, you never give it up again.